Today, I'll be answering a question that one of my realtor colleagues has gracefully kindly asked me for my advice. He is multidisciplinarian, meaning he has multifaceted business. I think I should write it down here so that we know what the heck I'm talking about. So first of all, he's a realtor, right? Secondly, he is an immigration consultant. And thirdly, he wants to do financing. Now, he's approached me and asked me for my advice and asked me for help. What should I do? How do I get started, Sua? I sat down and, I'm reluctant to give advice because perhaps my advice works for me, might not work for him. Because to me, I'm an expert and I delve deep into my field, my industry, right? In commercial financing, I'm learning new stuff every day, and I've been doing this for many, many, many years, mind you, right? And I'm sure a lot of the commercial financing guys out there, gurus out there, who's got way more years under their belt, they're also learning new things every day. It's an ever-changing landscape, right? So anyway, get back to the question is, he goes, I'm a realtor. How many years have you been doing it? Well, quite a few years, and the industry is coming down right now. It's kind of calm and quiet, so I'm looking at sharpening my tools to get more clients. So his priority is get more clients to sell more property. And I said, why do you want to go get into commercial financing? He goes, well, I'm an immigration consultant, and when I bring immigrants to Canada, there's a certain program that I take advantage of, and it has to do with buying a business, investing into an existing business, buying a business, starting a new business, whatever it may be. And it happens to be the easiest way to get into Canada is perhaps buy an existing commercial business, an entity, perhaps a franchise, for example, right? Subway is popular. I've helped several investors purchase Subways, and that's one of the biggest, easiest vehicle to get into Canada. You got $500,000 worth, dump into a successful business and acquire the commercial property below it. So that way, you kill two birds with one stone, right? You got an increasing appreciation of your dollar, of your money that you bring to Canada, and also get to own a business that's successful, and you don't have to learn a new thing, learn a new trick or any kind of new trades. If it is, they've never ran a restaurant before, Subway is a success story, so easy enough for them to understand, right? To invest in that. So that way, his immigration business fuels his real estate business. And so I said, I see. So why do you want to learn commercial financing? He said, so I can do all these things. I can help them with the financing. I bring them to Canada, help them with financing, make money there, and get them to purchase my commercial real estate property. Bada bing, bada bam, bada boom. Say, that's great. That sounds great. I mean, that's a great funnel system to put it, right? For me, honestly, I cannot fathom doing this. Can I help people sponsor them with the whole entire sponsorship or the immigration sponsorship through Canada, through the business, different types of business programs I have? Sure. I believe I'm intelligent enough to read and to understand how these programs work and bring people to Canada. So can I be an immigration consultant? Certainly. Do I want to be? That's a totally different story, right? The one thing that I see is that people are juggling a lot. And this is the reason why I don't want to give advice in this scenario. But since he's asked kindly and, just what do you think? His approach is great, mind you, right? He's great because he understands that he has more time right now on his hand to learn about something new, which is commercial financing, which is my area of expertise. So I commend him. At least he came to the right source to find out how to do this properly, and rather than try to do it on his own, cut his own risks and kill his own deals by trying to do the commercial financing without a mentor or coach to help him get up to speed really fast, right? And that's the key thing is, time is money. He understands that. He understands how much it is, how much my program costs, right? Sure, my program costs almost $5,000, but a short amount of time frame that he needs to learn. Instead of 3 to 6 years, he's shortened it down in 5 to 6 weeks, right? So compress time, save money, make money. That's the key. And he's smart enough to do that. He's brilliant. I mean, he's learned all this stuff all the time and be able to leverage his real estate business with the immigration business, which is smart. And sure enough, it makes sense to him. To me, maybe not as much. To him, yes, it makes sense because now he's another arrow in his quiver so that he can shoot many targets when he needs to, right? And it funnels his primary business with the real estate sales, which is smart. Only thing that I see is, in my situation, perhaps, I got a family with 2 girls. He maybe not so much. Maybe his kids are all grown up. He's a lot of time on his hand. It may work for him. It probably wouldn't work for me trying to do this, right? It will probably disrupt more of my life than help it. So in this scenario, when he has more time, yes, that could be helpful. It would be more useful for him and perhaps more practical, and he can make money, right? And it won't affect his life in a negative way that it would affect my life, right? So in this sense, that's very smart. So what do you think I should start with, Sue? I'll go, well, you need to really focus on what is your number one target market, right? What's your target market? My target market is, for his business owners, immigrants, high net worth, right? High net worth. That means they have a lot of money to spend to purchase these kind of property and these kind of business because they are very pricey, right? It's not cheap to buy anything in any metro city in Canada or in the United States for that matter. But in this scenario, it makes sense because in the commercial world, we don't have the same kind of restrictions that we have on the residential side in towards financing residential property. I'm sure it happens everywhere around the world as well too. In the residential side, it's meant for local people to help finance the local people, the population, so that they have a great place to stay, and the cost is not prohibitive. For an immigrant, it doesn't really matter because they're from outside the country, bringing suitcase full of money, so not a big deal as much, right? For us here, it is a big deal. For making $300,000-$400,000 to purchase a property like that, it takes how many years to just save for the down payment, right? So if you have a high net worth client, sure, great target market. Help them out in that way by getting into these commercial property. And his question, where should I start? Where should I target? Because commercial properties, all of them out. You got multifamily apartment rental units. You got office upstairs, and could be law office, could be health related professionals where the offices are full of everything really to do with doctors, nurses, radiology, all that fun stuff, right? Or going to warehousing. Warehousing is pretty much hands off as well. And you're dealing with people who are trades and manufacturing. They're there for the long haul. And then you got retail, right? Retail can be anywhere from strip malls to simple retail outlets to mixed use, right? Mixed use is not a complicated subject that I love because it's not a lot of people like it. You got residential upstairs, and then you got retail, or you got offices downstairs. 2 different sets of rules, 2 different sets of target market and clients, right? But it still encompasses commercial financing. That's the kind I like. It's very complicated stuff. So he said, where am I going to target for these clients? I'm like, what is the best for them? I said, well, you already got off a good start by really understanding the niche that your target market is, and go work backwards. Right? I like to go work backwards. Okay, here's my target market. They're going to be about 45 to 65, maybe not that old, but could be that old, right? Who knows? All they want is passive income. So their main idea is passive income, but he says immigration requires them to own a business that employs people. So not just passive income, but I need to own a business. So that limits the amount of money they're investing. Perhaps they need to bring in double the amount of money because a business like subway, it's going to cost a lot of money. And if they open up Joe Blow's shoe shop, chances are they're going to make a lot of money. So the business is going to be bankrupt in no time, right? Competing with a lot of the other retailers who've been around for a long time. Passive income is easy. I mean, any of the property can create passive income. Property manager handles everything, and a lot of commercial leases are what we call triple net, which means that it's hands off. Everything to do with the expense in the building is allocated to the tenant. The tenant pays for everything, from property tax, property management, utilities, you name it, anything inside under the roof, actually including the doors and everything. The inside part, if the glass breaks, that's the tenant's problem. Backup sewer, water, main, whatever, it's the tenant's issue. Very passive when it comes to commercial property, and I like that. So his question is, where do we get started soon? I said, well, first of all, do you really need to spend that much time and to learn about commercial financing? Or you should just create a team, like somebody, myself or one of my students, to be part of that team. And that was the second part of his question. Was like, I have these people in places. I need these people for my team to make everything work. That's smart, right? So do you really need, it's not the money. I mean, for him, $5,000 per not a lot of money to spend on my 6-week course. Right? Bang, bang. Less than one deal. It makes its money back and then some. So the question is, what makes sense is what I should ask. And what makes sense to you? Does this make sense? I mean, first of all three of these things together is just bewildering, because the amount of licensing requirements, that renewals and educational requirement for each one of them is gonna take up an exorbitant amount of time that he doesn't get paid for to do, right? Every few years, we need for our brokering licensing requirement, we need education, right? We need to go continue education to update our rules, regulations, as well as any of the programs out there to help us understand the financing world better. I'm sure immigration consultant has something to do with it, and Realtor, almost every few years they have to do it as well, right? Continue education, I believe almost every year or every second year, right? Similar to us in the brokerage world. So the question is, how much time do you have? Are you getting enough return on your money for this, right? He understands ROI, which is kind of cool, right? So he speaks the language already, right? Return on my investment. What is the return on your investment when you spend all the amount of time away from your family? Each one of these areas, is it enough money to come out of it? Is there enough? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on how much business he puts through his pipeline, right? If he's getting 20, 30 deals a year, sure, it can sustain all of this. That's plenty. Right? That's enough to make more than $250,000 a year, even as a commercial financing guy. So you don't need to make it a real estate. So maybe he's after $1.5 million, $2 million, who knows? That's the thing. You really need to know what your ROI is going to be on each one of these areas, right? I don't know about immigration consultant, how much money you can make. Probably not as much as the commercial side. That's probably what he's looking at, right? This may be just a loss leader. Sometimes some people do that, right? It's a loss leader, bring people to the country, bring the bags of money into the country, help with the financing to purchase the property, which you can be the listing agent, or you maybe just be the co-agent that sells the property. So it's all good, right? I think it's all good. You do what you do, I do what I do. I'm good at being great at one thing. I've always been, you know what? I've always been an advocate of being an expert at what you do. Become the go-to expert, and everybody goes to you. That's why I got the people across Canada and realtors like him to come see me and talk to me, rather than any other people at the bank or anything like that. Just become an expert. You draw. You become a magnet. I don't advertise. Right? People know me across Canada because of what I do. Become the expert, and they will come to see you. Simple as that. Jack of all trades, master of none. Well, you're not. Maybe you can master a little bit. You can't master specifically in each sector unless you spend another, I don't know, 10,000 hours in each one's profession. Then sure, move on to the next one and master the next one. Maybe in a few years I might want to master immigration consultant. I don't know. Might be something interesting. In commercial real estate, I've always been interested to do that as well. But you know what? I feel that I'm not done yet. I'm hardly there, and I'm doing podcasting, interviewing people smarter than me in the commercial world soon, and that's to be released soon. So you guys know, keep an eye on that. So this is what I want to give back is that, you know what, this is my idea. This is what's on my mind. And to help you answer the question, it's not an easy answer. Really, it isn't. You can see it in your schedule and fit it in your life. Go for it, by all means, right? But understand, always come and ask for help. Don't have a big ego, and don't, even I ask for help, right? On a big project, it's beyond me. I bring in for people that help with it. I don't know everything, right? As much as I think I know everything, no, you always learn something new every day. So leave your ego aside, help client first. If you need to, bring in outside help. And I'm more than happy to help you, my friend, right? You know my number, so hope this answers your questions, and I hope you do well at what you do. And always remember, client first, okay? So take care, see you at the top.